Hello and welcome. We have a lot to talk about at the moment. Just a quick health check of the overall crypto industry. I think we are having a little bit of a bear market rally. We're up by around about, I don't know, between 2 and 4%. So everything's looking okay, but I am a fundamental guy and I'm not going to get fully drawn in just yet. AJ, what are your thoughts on this at the moment? Your knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah, well, for me, it's more of a bull trap than anything. I think we're going lower. Technicals are still indicating to me we're going lower. So I'm going to stay bearish until I start seeing bullish signals. And everyone's been getting bullish recently when we've been seeing these big pushes towards the upside, or fairly big pushes towards the upside. And I've remained bearish, and I'm going to continue to remain bearish until we start seeing some major bullish volume coming in. We haven't seen that in a very long time. So for me right now, I'm just staying bearish.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And as you guys can all see, bringing up coin market cap here, you can see that we're looking at, overall, as I mentioned, Bitcoin 1.5, just over, Ethereum just under 4. So there is generally this kind of range. We have been a bit excited. I think a lot of it is just kind of technicals and also, resetting
Yeah.
indicators and stuff like this. The overall health of what we're looking at, exchange reserves looking pretty strong. I'm just on Crypto Quant here, giving you a quick overview. Sentiment, not great. So low fund and ETF buying pressure. This means that we see investors not being as interested at these levels. What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for something that we're not? We don't know. I mean, it seems that way. Low long-term hodlers movement, which is quite good. We don't want to see long-term hodlers just start capitulating. We know that we're worried about miners. Oops. So this kind of moderate selling that we're seeing from miners is something that we should take into consideration. Now, I know this happened after we went live yesterday. BlockFi, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It owes $30 million to the SEC. And also, we can add on $729 million that it owes to Ancora Trust. That's really gotta hurt, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
mate. 729 million. What in the Jesus?
A lot of money.
I know, but as you see here, so earlier in November, to fund its bankruptcy, it entered bankruptcy with 256 million cash on hand. Mate, I don't think that's enough. I think might be a pound or two short there, mate. So it's not looking great, to be honest. And now I do want to mention this Bitcoin mean transaction volume. Okay, so we are seeing a lot of outflows, and we are seeing a lot of slow, I guess, like lack of momentum in the crypto industry right now, especially with Bitcoin. So the mean transactional volume just reached a 2-year low of 75,000. Now, the mean is basically like the average, essentially. And so this shows that, people are doing less transactions with less volume, which is kind of a good thing, I guess. We don't want to see huge amounts of volume because that could indicate that everyone's just selling. But I think this indicates a little bit more of kind of a holding off. So some people moving money out of exchanges, but then a lot of the Bitcoin should be off exchange, which means that we're not going to have lots of transaction volumes, which is kind of a good thing because maybe people are holding more. AJ, have you kind of noticed any sentiment of people maybe holding a little bit more now we're at these lower levels, or do you think people are just kind of holding off completely until we get some kind of crazy event and everyone jumps in?
I think a lot of people are holding off, but as we showed in yesterday's video, there are still a lot of shrimps, a lot of crabs that are buying. But personally, for
Mm.
me, I do still think a lot of people are holding off and waiting for lower, which you can take as two ways. You can take as a good way. A lot of people are expecting this capitulation, or you can take it as that potentially the bottom is already in, and these people are going to miss this buying opportunity that is now. Personally, for me, I think people are being smart and waiting for their final capitulation event. I think a lot more people are. A lot more people are involved with crypto right now and follow a lot more crypto people, and a lot of people are talking about lower, and I think people are listening to people, like us, who are saying that there is a pretty high probability that we are going to go lower, and I think people are listening to them and just holding off.
Yeah, no, I agree, and also I'm glad you mentioned about the shrimps and the crabs here because I personally have crabs. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. But with that, so obviously what we are seeing is a lot more of these whales and stuff are not really transacting at the moment. They're not buying up the dip,
Yeah.
so they're not causing a lot of volume. So I
No.
think
Yeah.
maybe part of the reason why we're seeing this dip is because the whales are not transacting, they're not buying just yet, but the shrimps and the crabs are, and when they are, they're doing it at obviously a much lower value than the average, which has been $75,000. So that's probably what's bringing the average down quite a lot, I'd say.
Yeah, and these big whales, they know a lot more than most people.
Yeah,
If they're not
it's
purchasing now, and if they're waiting for lower, then this is what everyone else should be doing.
yeah, I absolutely agree. And we're seeing, we're seeing some of this kind of continue with this low volume, the biggest outflows in 12 weeks as investors cash out following FTX fall. We knew this was going to happen. And so it's just going to be, we're going to see more and more of this. We've already shown you on this channel specific data of people leaving, just not being interested in in staying on certain exchanges, in pretty much all exchanges. And I think this is going to be a really hard time for lenders, also for exchanges, especially the slightly smaller ones, who will see a lot of people just trying to get their money out. And obviously, if you're an exchange, how do you make money? It's through trading. And if everyone's taking their money out off of your exchange, you can't make money trading. So we are going to see quite a big, a big ripple effect continue on from here. And even Bitfront, which is a social media backed crypto exchange in Japan, I believe it is, Bitfront said it regretfully determined it needs to close. So yeah, Japan's social media giant Line Corp says it's shutting down in a rapidly evolving industry. I think like we've said this before about innovation. Innovation does move very quickly. Innovation, or during the periods of innovation, a lot of things get broken and things don't necessarily always work out the way that you want them to. But we will continue to see much more of these exchanges kind of close down. I personally believe
And
myself.
I think it's a healthy thing, to be honest with
It
you.
is.
It gets everything out of the market that just does not work. It gets all the crooks like Sam out of the market as well. And to be honest with you, it's a good thing. It's horrible for the people that get caught up in it. Yes, I do think it's horrible for them, but initially for the market in general, it is a good thing.
Yeah, it's like like you will lose your money, you will not be happy, but everybody else will kind of benefit. That's like it's very unfortunate, but that is
Yeah,
really the kind of the overall story.
yeah.
And it's like we said, I think it gives you a bit of a perspective. You can see how like the likes of JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, or even the government, or even the Fed, the way they think about things and the way they think about investing and stuff like this. We always say, it's really bad that Jerome Powell wants high unemployment, but he's doing it for the greater good. He wants 4%
Mhm.
of people to be unemployed so that 96% can be securely employed instead of like, kind of, is there security? We don't know, because some people, he's going for that certainty, which is really bad. But obviously, we're kind of saying that in the same same scope as we're glad that some exchanges are closing down.
Yeah,
Obviously, we know people are getting caught up, and that's really bad. But for the greater good of overall crypto, it is a good thing, like you said there, AJ. But
yeah.
it is a massive shame that people do get caught up and get scammed in the process.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a real shame. But to be honest with you, the best thing to do is, if you've got money on exchange, if you've got your crypto on
yeah,
exchange, and you're not trading it, okay, because you should only be trading, maybe a maximum of 10% of your actual portfolio. For me, it's around 5% that I actually trade with. If you're not trading, with a lot of capital, or with most of the capital that you have on an exchange, head over to this website, Ledger, and just buy yourself a Ledger Nano. Okay, it's the
Yeah.
safest thing to do. It is, £69 for the cheapest one, £136 for the more advanced one. To be honest with you, it's not a lot of money to just invest in actually keeping your crypto safe. And then, of course, you can have the rest of your crypto on an exchange that you are trading, but you just have to accept that there is a high risk. Well, there is a risk that you could lose that money. I wouldn't say a high risk. If you're trading on exchanges such as Binance and Bybit link in the description as well. For me, those are the safest exchanges, and for me, I don't see them falling. Yes, there is a possibility, but I just don't see that happening. And Bybit for me is what I use on a day-to-day basis. And of course, there's a link in the description if you want to get a sign-on bonus with Bybit as well. So make sure you take advantage of that. But yeah, Bybit and Binance are probably the safest exchanges to be on. Femex as well. Femex is a good one. There's a link for that as well, and you can also get a sign-up bonus with that as well. So make sure you take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's up to $4,000. So you are
Yeah,
welcome. I know you want to
yeah,
say thank you. It's okay. You're welcome. Just hit the link down below in the description, and then you can join us on our trading journey. I am going to pass this over to AJ now. I just want to quickly finish up with Bitcoin climb fails to dispel fears over FTX contagion is far from over. So overall sentiment is that obviously FTX contagion is still going through. We've just seen BlockFi fall, and so like I said, we're going to see more. Overall, looking at Bitcoin having one of the worst months in the past 5 years, pretty ridiculous to be honest. So this is still, we're in that like very much a scared period. And yes, it does seem to happen periodically. We can kind of expect this, and it's fine. But yeah, we just don't like it. We just don't like it, especially when we have things like this charted and even being published by Bloomberg. This is one thing they mentioned. This is a Bitcoin chart pattern. An X is plus 10%, an O is minus 10%. So you can see this kind of chart that they're looking at, and they put price targets around about. This is probably about 14k, and this is around about 10k. AJ, should we
Mhm.
have a look at this on Trading View and see how it looks like? When you chart this up.
Yeah, well, what they've charted right there, if I just bring up my screen here, is looking very similar to what I've been charting as well. So around $13,900 approximately. That's probably where they've drawn their first line at around $14,000. That is a major level. That is a monthly level, and we're on the weekly chart here. But if we come back here, we can see that this monthly level has been respected to the dollar right here. So back in 2019, the 24th of June 2019, it was respected to the dollar right there. And also we found support along it back here as well. So we found resistance here. And then all the way back in 2017, December 2017, we found the dollar test of this level as support. As you can see right there, we used the candle bodies as perfect support there. So this is that sort of first major support level that we do have below us. Right now, we don't have any support below us. We have broken this major support here. So the next level I am looking at is around sort of $13,900, 14,000 to be approximate. And then, of course, around $10,200 is sort of that next major support level below it as well. So, or the bottom, I should say. Sorry, the bottom level of support, and that's probably what they've charted on their charts as well. In between that, we do have major support sat at around 12,000. So for me, 14,000 is going to be that major level. If we can't hold 14,000, then most definitely 12,000 is going to be hit, potentially getting that final capitulation wick all the way down to 10,000. And then we could start seeing that price, push towards the upside, consolidate, and then have that mega rally towards the upside, which is as we know, the bull market potentially, maybe towards the end of next year or the year after that. So yeah, It's looking similar. What Bloomberg have published is looking very similar to what I've been saying as well. Between 10,000 and 14,000 for me is going to be the bottom. Of course, we cannot perfectly predict the bottom, but what I am saying is if we break 14,000, then 12,000 is where I expect the price to go to. But then there's a possibility we could have a wick down to, around $10,200, I would say. $10,200 is sort of the lowest, I would say, the price would go. So around $12,000 to $10,200 is the bottom for me. If we do break 14,000, 14,000 is a strong support level. So there is a possibility we could hold that as support. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm looking at, and it's lining up with what Bloomberg is saying. So I've been preaching this for a while now. And when did that come out on Bloomberg?
That was earlier today. That must have been,
Earlier today. Yeah.
yeah, like a couple hours ago, I believe, like 2 hours.
Yeah, so we're looking at the same things here, and Bloomberg is much bigger than us, so it's always good to know that
No,
they're
no, no, no,
it's always good to know that they're looking at the sort of same the same things. Sabri said
no.
8K Bitcoin. I don't see
Yeah.
8K. I don't see 8K. The reason being, if we zoom out here, I think if we went down to 8K, I think all hell would break loose. But if we bring up this here, so bear market percentage pullbacks, what we can see is the previous bear market pullback was 84%. The one before that was 86%, and 85% would be around 10,000. If we were to come all the way down to 8,000, that would be an 88% pullback. It is possible, but I just don't really see it. I would see potentially an 85% pullback, which would take us to approximately $10,200. That's as low as I could see the price actually going to, maybe to 10,000, but I just don't see us going any lower than that. So, for me, $10,200 approximately would be that bottom for me. At the ends, the 12K is like 100K. Yeah, as are you talking about, as people were talking when we were at sort of just below 70K, people were talking about 100K. Are you talking about sort of the same scenario but in reverse? Everyone's talking about 12K but might not make it there.
See, I would say, that like this 8K is probably like the 100K, where
Yeah,
anyone who is a bear, they want to be a bear a little bit more than what's realistic.
yeah,
And I personally would put that at 8K.
yeah,
Sabri, I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on why that why that might happen. But just in the same way, when people are in a bull market, they want to be a bull a little bit too much. And
yeah.
that's why everyone starts calling for 100K when actually it only goes to 70.
Definitely. But yeah, and I think it's just unrealistic targets. That's what we're looking at here. I think 8K, I think that's an unrealistic target. 100K for me, I know this channel wasn't about them, but for me, 100K was actually an unrealistic target because I was getting a lot of bearish signs when we were at 69K. And that's, I was shorting at 69K, not actually longing when everyone was talking about 100K. For me, though, 12,000 is a realistic target. So that's why I just looking at the percentage pullbacks that I literally just shown you, it's a realistic target. It is a realistic target. So that's why I do think 12,000 is realistic. Maybe even 10,000 is realistic. But yeah, I think 8,000 is that sort of unrealistic target, and that would be the sort of the opposite of what we saw in the bull market, where we were talking about, or people were talking about 100K, the price going to 100K. I think that's the same, but inversely here. So, yeah. Taking a quick look at the shorter time frame, so looking at 4 hour, what has happened in the shorter time frames? Well, we've actually found support at around $15,980 approximately, as you can see right there, the value area low. We found some nice support there, and we have seen the price push towards the upside. Right now, we are finding resistance at the POC, the point of control. But for me, this is not a bullish move towards the upside. Yes, we are getting a push towards the upside, but it's not a bullish push towards the upside. We're still within this range. For me to get bullish, I think we need to get above $17,600 with a lot of volume. If we can't do that, then I'm not bullish at all. And what I'm doing is trading this range. Unfortunately, I was ill last week, and we did miss this trade here. We missed this long trade from around $15,700 would have been the entry point, because what I like to do is stagnate those entry points, and the approximate entry would be around $15,700, I would have thought. And this would have been sort of around a 25 to 30% move for us, which would have been a really nice trade. But unfortunately, I was ill, I missed that. But I'm still looking for those opportunities. If we get into this shorting opportunity here, then I find those 3 bits of confluence, then I'm going to be entering a long position, potentially riding that all the way up to value area high at around $16,940, and vice versa. If we come to the value area high and there's enough confluence for me to enter a short position up here, then I'll enter a short position potentially all the way down to value area low at $15,960 approximately. So right now, what I'm doing is trading the range. I've been doing this for the past 2.5 months. If you follow the channel, you will know that I've been doing this for the past 2.5 months. We made 9 trades. 8 of them were winning trades. 1 of them was a losing trade. So we've had a really nice track record recently. And here's one of the trades. We've still got one of the trades open, 111% in a profit, $1,500 in a profit. And we've taken 50% out of the trade already. So $1,428 has been taken as profit already. I'm expecting lower. That's why I've still got this trade open. It was just supposed to be a day trade, but it's now sort of turned into a swing trade. It's a day trade that's turned into a swing trade. We've taken 50% profit, from the day trade, but we're leaving 50% in just as a swing trade because I expect lower. And, I've mentioned why I expect lower as well. On this chart as well, on the daily chart, this is actually the 12-hour. We've got some sort of, descending triangle forming here. We are testing the resistance right now. If we break towards the upside, then there is a possibility for a fake out, because what I'm looking at here is literally perfect volume. This is a volume we want to see within a triangle. We're getting a decrease in volume, as you can very clearly see here. So if we do get a break towards the upside with no spike in volume, okay, so we would like to see a big spike in bullish volume. If we don't get that, then the likelihood of it is it's going to be a fake out. We're going to see that price roll over, and we're going to see that price dump. So for me, it's looking more bearish right now than actually bullish, because we're not getting any bullish volume coming into the market, and fundamentally we're looking bearish as well. So from here, we're either going to break towards the upside. If we don't get the volume coming in, we're going to roll over and the price is going to pull back, or we're going to get a rejection from this level here, come down, test this support here. If we break the support with volume, then I would expect the price to come much lower as well. And I think this pattern could take us to 14,000. I think this is going to be the pattern that takes us to 14,000, which, as we know, is that crucial level. So, as I said, we break towards the upside. If we don't get the bullish volume, the likelihood of it is we're going to roll over and we're going to see the price dump, exactly like what happened back here. We had the exact same scenario, descending triangle here, broke towards the upside. Everyone was getting really, really bullish, but I was telling you, don't get bullish, because there's no bullish volume coming in. And I told you the price was most likely going to roll over and then have a capitulation event towards the downside. That's exactly what happened, because we had no bullish volume coming in. So the bears took control and pushed that price down. If the same scenario happens here, then I think this is going to take us to 14,000. Okay, if we don't get that bullish volume on the break towards the upside, the likelihood of it is we're going to roll over and we're going to see that price come down to 14,000, most likely, potentially even lower as well. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking for lower. This is a bearish pattern here. So either we're going to get the break towards the upside on minimum volume, and then we're going to dump, or we're going to get a rejection from here, come to the support, break the support with volume, and then we're going to see the price dump as well. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm still looking at the price being very, very bearish. And that's why I've still got this trade open, which, if you've been following the channel, you will know that I opened this live on stream with you. So if you want to continue to see me opening trades like this live on stream, then please make sure you smash a like on this video. It lets me know that you want to see more trades like this, and you want me to bring them live to you as I'm opening them as well. So if you want to see me do more trades like this, then make sure you smash that like button. But
There
yeah,
we go.
I think that's everything I've sort of got for you. You know, still very bearish, but in the shorter time, I think we're going to continue to consolidate towards the consolidate sideways. I think, you know, this is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I just wanted to address this. So, shorting opportunity is still very big. I haven't seen the material from BitBoy Crypto about bank who is responsible for I think Terra USD or
Yeah,
Tether.
Terra
Um, yeah,
Tether
okay.
USD.
Very scary. We'll have a look at that. But like, I mean, like, you know, this is not the first or the last case of market manipulation. We see tons of this happening all of the time. It's nothing new. Yes, well, a lot of times they do get uncovered, but at the end of the day, nothing really happens. And so,
Okay.
you know, like market manipulation is crazy in this industry.
Yeah,
JP Morgan are one of the biggest market manipulators. They've been fined numerous times for doing it in regulated markets, and they've been doing it like mad in the crypto market. But you know, and that's why I kind of think it's good to have an understanding of the fundamentals, and also then of the technicals, because you know some things you just can't predict. You know, there are some instances, but like you said, AJ, you know, being able to actually, you know, open up a few very, very good trades and knowing or, you know, using a confluence to be able to get the trade
yeah.
right 9 times out of 8, no, 8 times out of 9, I should say, it's really pretty bloody good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's satisfying as well. You know, it's satisfying to see. It's satisfying for when, you know, when those trades play out. It's yeah.
Yeah, it is good. It is
It's
good.
good
But
fun. It's good
anyway,
fun. Yeah, boring at
it is.
times, but it is good fun.
Yes. Well, if you guys have any specific questions, drop those in as comments. Obviously, like the video, really helps us out. And also, it's just, you know, it's free for you. If you guys do want to sign up, you can obviously use our links to follow us on Bybit and Femex. And obviously, you can get up to $4,000 back from there when you deposit. So make sure that you go through and do those, and obviously, like the video. And we will be back tomorrow for another installment. We have big news tomorrow, don't we? We have big old Jay Powell. Jay Powell is
Yes.
getting his little speaker out.
Microphone.
And yeah, so I believe that's 10 p.m. my time. I want to say 2:30 New York time. So I'm not sure if I will be live at the time, but I'll definitely do an update the morning after. So once the US market closes, I'll probably do an update and talk about everything that's going on. But we'll
One
be live
question.
tomorrow.
One question here. Use traders reality main as indicator. Am I saying that right?
Just, I mean, go on to TradingView and then go on indicators. Sabiri, are we doing this the right way? TradingView and then on to indicators and then traders reality. I haven't heard of this myself. Yes.
No. Okay. That looks quite confusing for me. I don't tend to use indicators like this. You know, I know there's a lot of buy and sell indicators as well. I don't really find them. I'll have to look into this indicator, see what this is about. But yeah, I tend to just use Fibonacci and volume, such as like fixed ranges, even the VPVR as well. That's really good because sort of volume is the main market mover. So that's why volume in the indicators are a big thing that I use. And yeah, the Fibonacci as well, that's sort of never fails you either. So I use that a lot. But yeah, I'll have a look into this and see what this is about, and see if it's useful.
There you go. All right. We will report back tomorrow. Thank you,
Yeah.
Saberi. Really appreciate that. Based on volume, MACD, and RSI and EMA. That's
Okay.
pretty
Well,
cool.
anything involving volume and RSI is a pretty good indicator. So I'll have a
Yeah,
look at it.
fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Make sure you come back tomorrow, and we will see you for everything that's going on in Europe and also how that's going to affect the crypto market tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much,
much for
guys.
watching, guys. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Take care.